Carried. Item number 4, Chief Executive's Officer's Report will be Mr. Gareth Green, who's acting CEO.
So yes, you've got me instead of Rob. Obviously, Rob's away in Paraguay, and I would note there that the Sun, or that they've New Zealand under 17 team through to the playoffs, which is great. Despite the fact that I think Liam got a second yellow card, I'm told, in the last game, but we won't go any further on that.
I wonder if Mr. Williams might be watching this on live stream, perhaps.
I'm sure he will be. I'll probably get a text in a second. So yeah, very much a caretaker report. Luckily though, I think given that we're only 3 months into the financial year, it's pretty much business as usual. So in Mr. Williams' absence, there's not a heck of a lot to report. Key highlights there, I guess, is that we are at a stage where the majority of our service performance reports are on target, which is obviously very good news. Other couple of points there, the audit management report on the annual report is obviously a very pleasing result. We've got some commentary there on 4-1. There's some commentary there on the likelihood of a long, dry, hot summer ahead and some significant risk around our rural fire operations in terms of getting those teams out and about. I think we've already had 2 this summer already, which is for this time of the year quite unusual. Lastly there, the Hawke's Bay amalgamation we've noted in terms of emerging risks or trends. You'll be all aware of that and the way that the public vote went. It's really a watching game, a watch this space place from here. I know the Minister and others are talking about still looking at some sort of change for local government regionally, but probably not forced amalgamation, because I think they've now learnt through Hawke's Bay and Wellington and Northland, but very likely that the new thing that people are talking about is creation of more CCOs and more joint services. So very much a watching brief, but we've always reported that because that did happen in that last term. So other than that, the team are here and ready to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Councillor Christowski.
Thank you. Just on 4-1 on the chart, where we talk about gross debt, which is 175 million on actual, but year to date, and in our annual report it was only 158 million, and then our net debt is lower than it was previously. So can you clarify for me the situation there, please?
Yeah, as advised at the last council meeting, we entered into a pre-funding arrangement because of the low interest rates that we could get through the local government funding agency. So that money is on deposit with the bank. So that's why the gross debt looks high, but the net debt looks lower. And there is a positive arbitrage there as far as the interest rate we are getting on the deposit versus the interest rate we're paying on the debt.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Park?
Yeah, considering we were having the meeting today, I've just 4-7 to do with the Turangi Reserve Management Plan. There was discussion around TTCB and Ngāti Turangi Turangi working together. I just wondered if there was any update. I noticed they were discussing it fully at the October hui, so I just wondered if there was any update on that.
Yes, unfortunately the hui that Turangi-Tongariro have scheduled, a couple of hui have been postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. That meeting has been rescheduled for 1st of November, so it's Sunday, the World Cup final day.
Great, thanks, Sarah.
Okay, Councillor Williamson.
Through the chair, so I make a commentary acknowledgement under the project performance. Acknowledge Nick Carroll and Sue and Hadley for the work they've done. The flood hazard plan change with Councillor Body and Meek and Councillor Stewart are on the subcommittee. And just going through the whole plan and about to go into consultation with the public. Just like to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson.
Chairman, I would endorse that. And could I just ask, is there any update on the delays that we're facing at the moment since the last report? Thank you.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes, there is. We've made significant progress. You might remember from my earlier communication to you, one of the concerns we had was making sure that the information we had on the Tongariro River matched exactly what Waikato Regional Council had in terms of their modelling. That has taken place, and we've got one story. We're both singing off the same song sheet, which is excellent. So that's been loaded into our modelling software as of Thursday last week. We went through our quality assurance on Friday. We're all happy, and as a result, the team today is preparing the mail out, which we expect to go out on Friday. Now, you've already had the consultation material, and we've got those key messages out to you. The one thing we haven't got out to you in advance is that mapping tool. So now that that's finalised, we'll send out that mapping tool link, just so you've got an opportunity to look at that in advance of that mail out on Friday. So it's progressing well.
Jim, could I-
Councillor Body?
When do you believe that we'd be ready to go for consultation?
Sorry, when do I?
With the various groups.
I expect that we will be mailing out to all the affected landowners on Friday, and we've already started to book in a series of meetings with stakeholders. We've got some ongoing discussion with Tūwhara Maori Trust Board around exactly how we approach that consultation with hapu groups. There's some talk about whether we take a very targeted approach with particular hapu or whether we go across the board. So that discussion's still underway with them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Buddy. Thank you, Mr Carroll. Councillor Krasowski.
Yes, just one more question as regards to 4/3 as far as the Waitanui water treatment plant upgrade is concerned. Last month there were still communication and consultation with the community in progress. Is there any progress on that progress?
We're still, to be honest, Jim, we're still working on that project, and our workshop is booked in for December with you, so we're still aiming to meet that timeframe. There's a few balls in the air at the moment, but it's going, I'll say, touch wood, quite well, and hopefully we can bring some options to you in December.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr Green. Any other questions of Mr Green? No? That being the case, could I have as a recommended resolution on 4/2? Could I have the mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Cousins, seconded by Councillor Williamson. Thank you. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried.